Hey folks, you know how the hero of Hyrule is always a very particularly chosen hero individually selected to be the hero? Yeah, well, that's not always the case. Our best example of this is found in the adventure of the Wind Waker. In this game, Link, if that is even his name, is the quote-unquote hero of this adventure. But the funny thing is, he isn't the actual hero in terms of selection. He's actually just an island lad who put on the boots screen outfit honouring the actual hero and made himself a hero. That's basically all of Wind Waker's introduction for you. In the timeline it takes place in, the hero of time never showed up, and Hyrule was flooded in a last-ditch effort to save the world. Basically. Why am I telling you this though? Well, recently, one of you lovely folks by the username of Neox suggested a video idea going over the characters from the series that I think could take up this role that the hero of the Wind Waker also did, replacing the actual hero. Characters with the necessary qualities to embody the role of a hero. The hero. So, thanks a ton for the suggestion, and if any of you ever have one, I'm more than open on all social media platforms to hear. But for now, let's take a look at 5 Zelda characters who I think have what it takes to become the new hero. Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out, and let's get into this one. Number 5. Burn. In the underrated adventure of Spirit Tracks, we meet an evil character by the name of Burn. To summarise his story, he's an Anakin Skywalker, basically. Burn was the apprentice of Anjin, the protector of the Tower of Spirits. Burn would learn every day, but one day, upon learning that the spirits of good wouldn't provide him with the power to become even stronger, he left Anjin's teachings and sought out a new leader to follow. Malladus, the game's main antagonist. This sets up Burn as the sort of puppet boss of the game. They become incredibly strong and even serve up an entertaining fight towards the end of the game. Now off the bat, they don't seem like a good fit at all, but if you were to think about this in the context of no Link being present, thus requiring somebody to fill the boots of the hero, I personally feel that if Burn didn't lose his way, that he'd make a great fit. And you know what, if Link wasn't around, then maybe the spirits of gods would have enhanced him and taught him to be more grounded and not lack so much power solely for himself. The main part of the criteria that he falls short in is his desires, otherwise he's a really good fit. He is a power-hungry person, however, but if that were to be eliminated and worked on, then I could see him filling the boots of the hero well, staying under the wing of Anjin, grounding himself under the blessing of the spirits, and one day making his very own legend. In the game, we can see him as an incredibly talented fighter, and with the right desire, I think he could take up the role. Number 4. Link's uncle. Okay, hear me out. In just the third installment to the Zelda series, A Link to the Past, the adventure kicks off with Link setting out to Hyrule Castle, but early on in this adventure, he comes across his uncle in the depths of Hyrule Castle. His poor uncle is laying there, wounded, near dead. He was on a mission to go rescue Princess Zelda, and left Link at home, but when Link finds him, all that we get to see between Link and his uncle is him advising Link on what must be done before breathing his final breath. It's such a big tragedy so early on in the game that I think many players don't fully process what just happened. But why do I think he could make a good fit if Link wasn't the hero to be? Well, Link's uncle is basically his guardian. He trained Link a lot, or most of what he knows. That includes his sword skills. To be Link's uncle, he must have in some way a blood connection to the hero. His brother would have been Link's father, but given that he is never present, that Lon Lon milk must be pretty good. Link's uncle has more than definitely raised the young hero in this adventure. In the short scene where his uncle passes on, he gives Link his sword and shield and says a rather interesting line or two. He explains to Link how to perform a secret technique passed down by our people, the Hylian Knights. He then goes on to mention destiny, fate, so maybe this could have been his destiny to begin with. Regardless, if for whatever reason Link wasn't present, perhaps before he was born, I definitely think that Link's uncle could be brought into the role if need be. He taught Link what he knows, has the knowledge of a sword and shield, and seems to have a pretty good inside scoop as to what's going on within the castle and Princess Zelda. I think that he would fit in well if need be. Number 3. Russell. One of Twilight Princess's most interesting characters outside of the main ones. He's actually the first character that we meet in the game's opening cutscene. Russell is at first, to our knowledge, a swordsman from the village of Orden, and just that. But later in the game, he is revealed to be a crucial member of Hyrule's Vigilantes, the Resistance Group, a collection of skilled people from across the land with the aim of bettering it when the monarch won't. Their main aim is to bring peace to Hyrule. Russell is the closest thing in this game that Link has to a father figure. I guess you could count the hero's shade, but in terms of somebody throughout his entire life and that is within the living world, Russell is the closest. It's never explicitly said, but it's almost implied that these two have a close relationship. I wouldn't say it's too far-fetched to argue that Russell has taught Link a lot over the years. I mean, he teaches Link the ways of a sword, gives Link his very first sword, and seems to be there for him all the time. Russell himself is a swordsman, a very skilled one at that. We see across a few scenes in the game that he doesn't have much fear either. He is brave. Pair that with his sword skills, and he could be an alright fit. You have to remember that this is very theoretical speaking and is in a must-if situation. I personally believe that Russell would make a really good fit to take on the role of the hero, if the actual hero wasn't present. He's a skilled swordsman, brave, and has a strong desire to bring peace to Hyrule. He really fits the bill, and could fit the role if the opportunity came. Number 2. The King of Hyrule. This could be the most surprising pick on my list, but I truly believe that the king could become a makeshift hero if necessary. To keep it simple, we'll use the latest king for example. We know that currently, he's dead, but back in his heyday, he was known to be quite the warrior. We see little glimpses of this in Age of Calamity, as the king wields a large claymore. He is a strong guy. He leads the mighty Hylian army, and whilst not often seen in combat, you can imagine a king that wields a power weapon such as his own, that he knows his way around the battlefield. I can see him being a sort of brute force warrior. He would obviously know the ins and outs of Hyrule, the history, and lore, so there shouldn't be many surprises when it comes to whatever task he has at hand that would otherwise be the hero's. I honestly don't have much more to say regarding the king. I just have a feeling inside me that he could take up the role if necessary, in a sort of, fine, I'll do it myself fashion. He may not have been the greatest at times in terms of being a person, but he could certainly save Hyrule if it all came down to him. I think so anyway. Before getting into my final pick, here is one honourable mention. Yellowro. Yoloro? I don't know. At the wetland stable in Breath of the Wild, we can find this noble hero to be. They've found a piece of wood and mistaken it for the legendary blade, dubbing it the Master Torch. In all of this delusion, they've convinced themselves that they are in fact the legendary hero. I include Yorolo on this list for the sole reason of, we all have dreams. This Hylian certainly has a big one. Number 1. Colin. The era of Twilight is without a shadow of a doubt my favourite time frame in the Zelda series. The story is captivating, the characters are awesome, and everything else in between is fantastic. The game has so many smaller side stories and character developments that are easy to miss or see, and one of them is the characteristics of Colin. This young lad is someone who is teased and picked on a little by the other kids, but he looks up to Link. Throughout pretty much every encounter with Colin, he'll tell Link how much he admires him, at one point even saying he wants to be like Link. This kid certainly has the desire within, but does he have the ability? No, not currently anyway. However, he more than definitely possesses the motivation, drive, and determination to get there. Oh, and he has one thing that sets him apart from everybody else. Courage. In one of the game's most epic cutscenes, an extremely tense moment where the massive brute King Bulblin charges towards the children of Ordon Village, Colin bravely leaps in the way and pushes them to safety. This results in him being taken captive, but the insane amounts of bravery that this must have taken him is inspiring. This stems from his admiration for Link, and once Colin has been recovered by Link, the young lad wakes up to his hero holding him. It isn't outright said, but he's believed to be somewhere around the age of 10 years old. He'd essentially be another child Link. His courage, for me, strongly resembles that of the hero that this entire video is based on, Link from the Wind Waker. Somebody who was never destined to be a hero, but worked their way into the role. We see in the end credits of the game that Colin now possesses a sword and shield as they return to Ordon Village, a significant reward for his courage, desire, and big heart. With the right amount of determination to save a land, I have no doubt in my mind that Colin from Twilight Princess has what it takes to become the hero if necessary. And now, what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments with who you think could fill the boots of the legendary hero if the opportunity arose. Thanks a ton for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. If you haven't already, be sure to hop in our Discord server through the link below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram to keep up to date, and as always, a huge special thank you goes out to all of my supporters across Patreon and YouTube. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining, and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.